Well, hey, everybody, I'm Justin Lester, and welcome to Tech with That Tech Pastor podcast that just wants to look at tech and the intersection of the local church. And for those of you who've been on the journey with me this year, I'm so grateful for you. And I wanted to take some time to end the year with some thoughts on 10 predictions for the church and 10 predictions for AI in 2026. There's so much that's happened. Like, it's amazing to think that earlier this year, we had one reasoning model, which was DeepSeek, and that was it. And it broke the internet. And now to see where we are today, where you can't really get just a basic large language model any longer. I think that many of you probably thought this was demonic to begin the year, and now you can't exist without it. AI has really changed everything about our lives. Now, it's been around for a while. It's not new. This stuff has been around for a minute, but now this year is just taking it to a whole nother level. Maybe you've been following along with the journey for us some time, and so that's our goal today. I want to look at 10 bold predictions for the future. I want to look at 10 things that I feel that are going to happen for predictions for 2026 as we try to end the year. Then the next week, I'm going to talk about 5 tools I think you need going into next year. But today, I want to talk about 10 things, 10 predictions I feel are going to happen with AI. We're going to look at some definitions, and then we're going to jump into my 10 predictions. I'd love to know your thoughts below. I'd love to know what you think below in terms of predicting what the future of AI is going to look like. Thank you for tuning in to Tech with That Tech Pastor. My name is Justin Lester. I am that tech pastor, the one and only. And so whether you follow me on TikTok, you follow me on YouTube, or you follow me on Instagram, be sure to hit that like and follow button no matter where you are. Let's jump in. 10 bold predictions for artificial intelligence 2026. Well, welcome back. Now, let me first jump in and just say this plainly and clearly. We thought this year was going to be the year of the AI agent, and don't act like you knew what that was. The AI agent was going to be the ones that were going to get us closer to AGI, artificial general intelligence, or artificial superintelligence. So software went from having to be encoded to then now agentic coding. We saw the evolution of vibe coding. And it's amazing because this year, it felt like 2 weeks, felt like 5 years, because the shift happened so quick for work, for families, for leadership. And for those of you who tuned in from the local church, it came in for the church too. So let's talk definitions, because I think there's one key definition that's going to be key for us going into next year. AI is not just ChatGPT or GPT, right? Or I don't know if you guys saw the young man from England, GPT, right? It's not just ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever it is. I want you to see that the larger picture of artificial intelligence looks at machine learning, deep learning, all those effects. And a small part of deep learning is generative AI. Generative AI is when artificial intelligence creates something new, right? So think about when you get multimodal AI and you get something, you can create an image, you can create video, you can create music. That's multi-modalities. Generative AI is the larger picture for that. So think about how chat creates a new poem for you, or creates a paper for you, creates an image for you. That's generative AI. So generative AI responds to you. Where we are right now, and with vibe coding, is agentic AI. Agentic AI acts for you, right? So generative AI looks for your prompts. I got to put something in and come out. And it seems like no matter what we've done, we've always gone back to the chatbot still works. Agentic AI is looking for goals. So it's going to plan, it's going to decide, it's going to execute, it's going to predict. And that's where reasoning models built the foundation for agentic AI. Now, I'm giving you this because it's important to kind of grab a hold of like my mindset here, because once intelligence, AI, gets a body, robotics, which I think this year's the year of the robot, that's when things start getting a little weird. So right now, the worry about AGI, ASI is that we went from generative AI making something new on the screen to agentic AI to now planning, pursuing, and executing and acting on goals, reasoning. And now when intelligence gets a body, robots, everything begins to change. And now that's where the abstraction part of this AI stuff, Gen AI stuff, changes, because now as we look at the future, the 10 predictions I'm going to are going to deal with robotics, deal with agentic AI, because that's where we are. So if you're on here today and you're just logging into ChatGPT, baby, you're like 2 years behind. No, shoot, at this point, you're like 15 years behind. So we're on agents, and nothing you're doing now is going to be done without reasoning. So we're going to talk about agentic AI, reasoning models, generative AI, but now moving towards the future where intelligence, I think, is going to get a body. You ready for my first prediction? Here's my first prediction for all of us. Prediction number 1, I believe that going into the future for 2026, every serious organization will hire a virtual staff before hiring more humans. Now, I've been consulting with churches all year, and this has been one of the major things that most churches have been wanting to do. They've been wanting to figure out, how can we hire without hiring? How can we fire without hiring as well, right? And everybody's trying to figure out how can we have virtual first staffing. I want to give you some data on this. So, Stanford University's Human Centered Artificial Intelligence, their HAI space, had their 2025 AI report index. I want you to see some of the things they had. They told us, like, obviously, AI performance is demanding benchmarks to improve. But I want you to see here AI is increasingly embedded in everyday life. You can see the growth here from 95, obviously, when the stuff was very, very infancy, when they used medical devices, all the way up to 2023, how much AI is used in medical devices. Businesses all on AI and fueling a record of investment and usage and research in terms of how it's already going to be engaged in communities. The US is leading here. I wanted you to see this data so you can see I'm not making it up. And the main thing I want you to see here is that AI adoption is already mainstream. Agents are the next interface layer where it's going to be thinking for you, and this is where I want to get to here. So Stanford reports that 78% of organizations used AI, which was a massive jump in 25% from year over year from the year before. Industry races, I want you to see a performance of top models. The industry is racing ahead in AI, but the frontier is tightening. That is, more people are figuring this stuff out. And so I believe the same thing is going to happen for the church. I believe the same thing is going to happen for the church. I believe the next phase for artificial intelligence is not more tools. I believe it's going to be a systems of agents. So organizations now, churches, you need to be asking not should we use AI, because that's just we're beyond this right now. It's what roles are virtual first. So I want you to think about the things that can be automated. Things like on the picture here, scheduling, follow-up, research, drafting, internal coordinations, because your next hire at your church is going to be a workflow. So I want you to consider the ways that agents are already a part of what you do, because I want you to be really clear on this part too. The caution I want to give you on automation and the caution I want to give you on agents is automating confusion is going to kill you. Clear your culture up first before more chaos comes. It's culture automation than AI. Every time I work with an organization, every time I work with a church, it always starts with your culture. You've got to get clarity on who you are, then automation. Then you automate the things you're tired of, and then AI. With agentic work and reasoning models becoming the baseline, it's no longer large language models as AI, it is reasoning models. And this is another level of engagement that if your culture is not clear, it's going to kill your church. So, prediction number one, every serious organization will hire a virtual staff before hiring more humans. Prediction number two, here's my second prediction: agentic AI becomes normal in finance first, and then it spreads everywhere. Reuters reported this: UK banks are actively piloting agentic AI with regulators, with customer facing trials expected for early 2026. Now, why do I want to bring this up? I think that you've got to look at money first. And when we look at money first, we're noticing here that banks are cautious by natures. So if banks are moving with money and banks are investing in AI and banks are saying that this is going to happen here through finance first, that ought to wake every single one of us up. Because AI that can evaluate scenarios, AI that can recommend actions, and AI that can initiate steps with customer facing trials expected in 2026, finance is going to start playing with your money. Now, why is this first? Money has accountability, money is going to be audited, and money has governance. So, why is this important to you? So, if you're listening to this, here's why this is, I think, is so important. If regulators are trusting AI agents to assist them in financial decisions, I think we're going to have to say, churches, you need to trust it with your agent cares. Your customers need to be able to trust voice agents for your organizations, because you need to be awake leaders. You're going to be running yourself and wasting a whole lot of money, especially now if banks are doing this stuff early. So as we see the future coming with Reuters being the leading, Reuters telling us how UK banks are going to do this, I think we have to be really, really aware of the ways that we can utilize this stuff as well in our own spaces, because if money is going to be taking a risk with AI, so should your organization. All right, let's go to prediction number three. Prediction number three: half of the agent projects people launch are going to quietly die. Gartner research predicted that 40% of agentic AI products will actually be canceled by the end of 2027 due to cost, unkill value, and risk controls. We are far beyond the bubble that everybody was worried about for the internet. We are far beyond that, where we are right now. As we look at the future and as we look at all these projects, everywhere you turn, and in the area that I'm in especially, everywhere you turn, everybody's got a product. Everywhere you turn, somebody's got something to get out to you. I think what's going to happen is a lot of these tools, the good ones are going to stay. I'm going to tell you this. I believe that if you are invested in something, whether that's Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever your big, large foundational model is, invest in your big foundational model. At the end of the day, everything coming out now is a GPT wrapper. So things are going to fail, not because the tech is going to fail for us, but things are going to fail, I believe, because the leadership is not going to know what to do. You have a lot of developers, a lot of people who don't know how to lead people, manage people, engage with money and lead others that are going to get into this. And you have snake oil salesmen coming along, and so they can be CTOs and chief sales officers, things like that. So you have companies with no goals or ownership or training. And so to me, I don't think churches, membership, anybody like that, or your business, here's one for me, don't just go buy a bunch of tools. That's not discipling well. Buying a bunch of stuff, buying a bunch of software, all of that is not good. You don't want to create more wandering for your people unnecessarily. So I believe right now, stick with what you have and don't go buy everything that comes out your way, because research is predicting this, and I'm agreeing 100% with it. Everybody's got a product. Everything's not going to last. Some people are going to make a quick buck, but don't let that buck be made on you. All right. Prediction number 4. Here's number 4 to me. Number 4 that's going to come out this year. Number 4, AI agents will make real work decisions daily. Here's my prediction. But AI aliens are going to make real work decisions daily. Another Gartner research forecast, they say this. By 2028, 15% of everyday work decisions will be made autonomously by AI agents. I want you to see the wording here. They're not saying recommendations. Right now we get recommendations, recommend your Netflix video, recommend whatever. They are saying 15% of everyday work decisions will be made by AI agents autonomously, meaning without you even thinking about it. Routing, prioritization, escalation timing, all of this is going to happen. So the question I think we have to raise here is policies. So, what policies are you putting in place in your organization for churches? What are you pulling in place? What can agents suggest? What can agents decide? What must remain human? And what you're saying is forget it. Let it all be AI. Like, because let me tell you this, some stuff does not need to be automated. Like wisdom doesn't need to be automated. Prayer to me doesn't need to be automated, because we have to remember also at the same time, we got to get past opinions to your context. One of the issues and one of the fights I've had so often with churches is everybody wants to get to opinion, and like, ooh, how are they going to feel about it? What does your context say? All right. So I pastor in a very progressive area in the North Bay. We are 35 minutes, and a lot of people at my church work at these companies that are building this. So I talk about programming code all the time because that's my context. Whereas if I was in where I went to school, Nashville, I probably wouldn't talk like this as much because it's a more conservative, slower area when it comes to technology. Whereas if I was in Austin, Texas, it's conservative, yet the tech is fast paced. Knowing your context matters. So for churches, know your context. So for me to think that a rural space, a small 50-member church, is going to automate all their processes makes no sense. For me to say that a mega church in a progressive area should automate a lot of their systems so they can add different people to engage with the people they're bringing in because they're bringing in masses is another thing. So it's your policy for your context. What should your agent suggest? What can agents decide or not decide? What should remain human and what should be automated? Because some things need to be automated and some things don't, but it's all in your context. But I'm telling you this, whether you like it or not, by 2028, agents are going to be making these decisions for you, at least 15% of what you do daily. Some of you are excited about that. Some of you aren't. Prediction number 5. Robots are going to reshape work and vocation. Now, this has been my big thing. I think last year, 2025, was the year of the AI agent. This year is the year of robots. Now, I'm going to tell you this. It is going to reshape our work before it reshapes our worship. The International Federation of Robots said this. 542,000 new industrial robots were installed in 2024 alone. Those who've been following my journey know my wife and I are opening up a coffee and candle shop in downtown Napa. And we have a robot named Kenny who's going to be serving coffee because he was a lot cheaper than healthcare and attitudes. That number, 542,000, we're one of them, has more than doubled in 10 years. We're not at a place of speculation any longer. We're at a place of actualization. So I think this is affecting jobs, is affecting the jobs of your members, is affecting the jobs of our communities. Here's where it's affecting jobs first right now: warehousing, manufacturing, logistics. Now, I pastor a Black church. That's affecting my people. I do. It is. The sanctuary is going to get there eventually. Now, my church has one. We're going to get another one. I'm going to get a couple of them. The church is going to feel it. Here's where you're going to feel it first: in the economy. And then you're going to feel it in actualization. Because pastoral care for us is expanding beyond prayer requests. So what do? This is a disruptive moment, and it's going to happen regardless of what we like it or not. I think one of the issues we have is we try to affect things in the back end. So I think my challenge for us now is looking at what are the things that we're teaching our people to do. How can we teach them to manage, to build these things? Because robots are going to reshape work, which means it's going to reshape people's pockets. It's going to reshape how they spend money, and it's going to reshape how businesses spend money, and then it's going to shape our worship. It's going to reshape worship. Now, we're not going to build anything around it, but I want you to tell you this: it's getting hit right now. So I think pastoral care, I put on the screen here, must address vocational disruption and dignity. How can we look at our jobs, a place that we're saying is a place of worship, and saying it's being disrupted, and you still matter? That's where I think the preaching and teaching has to be at for prediction number 5. Hey, everybody, I want to pause here really quickly and just jump in here really quick. So, I have put on a conference called Theotech. Last year was absolutely bonkers and amazing. Theotech is a combination of technology and theology, and this year is going to be amazing. But what's cool is that this year we're actually taking it on the road. We're going to 4 different cities. We're going to Little Rock, Arkansas. We're going to Chicago, Illinois. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee. And we're going to Harlem, New York. And then we're bringing it also to Napa Valley as well. It's going to be a really, really fun time to engage, and we have every dates coming up. We have April 19th, we're going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas. We will be in Chicago May 30th. We'll be in Nashville July 12th, and we're finalizing the date for New York to make sure that all of that's set, but that'll be early June. Then we have our big conference August 5th through the 7th at Napa Valley here once again, where we'll have our focus this year to be on robots. If you haven't known, I've said this over and over, 2026 is the year of robotics, and our goal this year is to be focused on robots. So early registration is open now for all of the locations. You can go register online. Each one has a particular focus, which I'll announce in February, but you can go register online now to get early registration before the price goes up for Theotech 2026. I am super excited to bring Theotech on the road, to engage with so many of you who've been a part of our ecosystem. Go to theoxtech.com, register right now, because Theotech was amazing this year. It'll be even more amazing in 2026. Prediction number 6. Here's what prediction number 6 here to me is this: humanoid robots are going to move from demonstrations to actually shifting organizations. Now, to me, this is where things get real. So you heard me talk earlier about when intelligence gets a body. That's agentic AI becoming humanoid, and we see this in robots. I'm going to show you 3 ways it's happened, and 3 pictures are going to come up on the screen here that you guys can see, so you know I'm not making it up. First of all, the first one here is that robots. There was a successful test of humanoid robots in a BMW plant in Spartanburg. So plant in Spartanburg in California, robotics company figured test the use of humanoid robots in production. You can see these robots are the ones humanoid robots were used in production. I told you before, robots are going to be happening in warehousing and manufacturing. You can see the data here. They said that this robot helped produce 30,000 cars at BMW as of November 19th of 2025. And not just BMW, but then Mercedes-Benz said we're entering into it as well. So Aptronic and Mercedes-Benz enter the commercial agreement that will pilot their humanoid robot in manufacturing facilities. It's the first publicly announced commercial deployment of their humanoid robots. What does this mean for us? This stuff is real. So it's not a matter of is this the Matrix? Robots are going to be doing people's jobs for us autonomously. And these robots are contributing in a large way to production workflows. So when AI gets a body, fear changes. So people respond to presence. So how are we going to engage, and how are you going to engage in light of knowing, oof, we need a new language to talk to people? Because now it's not just the emotional reaction of robotics. It's not just the emotional reaction of things happening. It is knowing that this stuff is real, and we need a different language to talk to people and engage, because these plants are already using humanoid robots inside of their lines. So I'm not making you scared. I want you to know this is real. So how we steward it, how we train people, how we preach to people, and what things we really encourage people to do, I think are going to be very vital going forward towards the future. That's prediction number 6. Prediction number 7. So warehouses are going to normalize bipedal robots. And here's what I mean by that. Amazon's already piloting, you see it on the screen, Digit, a bipedal robot from Agility Robotics in their logistics department. They're already doing so. So it went from the optional one is going and having someone check out for you. The normal way you'll be checking out is self-checkout. But then the future is when robots are doing it for you. Now, this is important to me as we think about the church, as we think about this, because if people are doing this on a regular basis, they're not carrying cash. Things are going to be scanned out through our eyes, through our phones, through our presence anymore. It follows the same arc as self-checkout. First of all, it was optional to do self-checkout. Then it was normal to do self-checkout. Now you just self-checkout. You don't even have to do it anymore. I think the same thing here, y'all, is our members are already at work with this stuff. So we got to think about our processes at church. Like, we need to shepherd people and then also make sure our systems are updated. Because if all of this stuff is normalized and everything else they're doing, why are they coming to church and can't tap to give? Why are they coming to church and can't give on credit cards, can't give online? Some of churches taking away live stream. It's foolish. Bipedal robots that are doing the normal work of people throughout the whole space. I think is going to really be normal going forward before the end of this year for 2026. Now, some of these I'm kind of far off on, but I really believe that this is what's going to happen as we look into the future. Prediction number 8: smart environments are going to get smarter and messier. Voice assistants, smart buildings, automated churches, automated checkouts. I think they're going to get smarter. At my church right now, so you come to my office, it's facial recognition. We have a card that lets you get inside of spaces. We're updating all of our rooms to smart rooms. Smart environments are going to get smarter. And then that's where we're going to see people start getting weird in terms of hacking and things like that. According to The Verge, AI powered assistants have become more conversational, but also they fail at basic reliability because what's happened is we are making these to do a lot more work than just basic 1, 2, 3, 4 help. So, like, even like Hey Google or Hey Alexa is not as easy as it once used to be, right? They often fail at basic tasks because I think this is the era and the ending of probabilistic systems. They're going to guess well, but they're not going to guess perfectly. So now what that tells us here for the church is experience is going to be important because tech is going to need a backup plan. I'm going to see you here. I put it on the screen here, forcing churches to craft backup plans to discern when human override is holy. They're going to need a backup plan. So for those of you who are like human, you are going to need backup plans. And it's just real to me. That's just valid to me. So now it's not a matter of being so consumed with like, are we done with people? No, people are going to be the only way to go because spiritual maturity is going to be knowing when to override a system because things are going to get messy before they get better. Prediction 9: AI is going to accelerate science faster than ethics can keep up. Dario Amati has described this moment as a compressed century. Decades of progress happening in the last like 3 years. We've seen medicine, we've seen materials, we've seen climate modeling. Here's the thing I want you to see here. We've seen all of this compressed into so much, but ethical reflection is lagging behind. That's why I like Claude so much. Claude actually thinks about things ethically and purposely. And I think that Claude has been ahead of the game in terms of making sure that things are thought about before we just throw it out there. But what's happening too in our race for money, as we talked about earlier, is AI is going to go faster than ethics can manage it. And that's where I think there's not going to be a money bubble as much as there's an ethical bubble. This is where, to me, I think the church has to stand up. That's where we come in. We're the foundation, the moral compass for our communities, that we speak to access and to equity and human worth, because progress, I put on the screen, without justice always creates casualties. Right now, we are seeing casualties in our communities, certain parts of the world. AI is accelerating faster than its ethics. So what does that mean? I need you to speak up, leaders. Speak up, people who are working in nonprofits, not only getting people trained, but make sure people know what's going on in terms of policy creation, policy actualization, things of that nature. This stuff is not slowing down. It's only going to get faster. And my last prediction.
Black pastor, and you're looking for a GPT that is catered to you to help you craft sermons and do pastoral care and do work. Well, I got made one for you. It's called Pastor GPT, and it's made for Black pastors and Black church leaders by a Black pastor. In here, you have formative ways to engage with your preaching, your teaching, your pastoral care, all for Black congregations, Black people, and Black pastors. Now, anybody can use it, but it's crafted especially for Black people to have a space to do their own thing and to engage holistically as Black individuals. So please go to pastorgpt.co and take a look at it. There's subscription models. There's a free model where you get 5 conversations a month. There's the first tier where you get 50 conversations a month, and the second tier where you get up to 150 conversations a month. Take a look, try it out. The goal of it is to give Black pastors and church leaders a space to bleed Black pastors and church leaders. I look forward to engaging with you in what Pastor GPT can do for you, for your future, for our churches, and for all that God's calling you to be.
We're going to get faster. And my last prediction today: the real divide will be between systems versus improvisation. This is my big thing. Those who build agent systems with clear workflows and guardrails and repeatable practices will move with confidence. Those who improvise every week will be overwhelmed. I put 2 pictures on the screen here. So if we have organizations that are building clear systems, clear workflows, clear guardrails, you're confident in your structures like your churches may be doing, perfect. Those churches who are being improvisational every single week, what's the plan? What's on fire? Everybody's urgency is your emergency. You're going to die. and AI is going to help you die. Because here's what's going to happen with AI right now. AI is either going to help you live or AI is going to help you die when it comes to your org, not your personal life. It's either going to be the system that's going to make it work or the system that will drown you. You have a decision to make. Those are my 10 predictions. I really think it's going to be a really interesting year. But here's my commitments I want to give to you guys to think about. So, with all of that, those are my 10 predictions. I think that's what might be happening. Here's three things I want to give you, I think, in terms of pastoral commitments. I want you to make sure that human dignity stays central to what you do. I want you to make sure that as leaders and pastors, that presence is not replaced by AI. What AI ought to do for pastors is make us more present because we should take away some time so you actually be present with people. So I want you to make sure that in your church and your organization, that human dignity stays key to what you do. Number two, may wisdom govern how fast you move. Because let me tell you this, not every capability deserves something to be deployed. May wisdom guide your footsteps. May wisdom guide you. Walk with the wise and become wise. Left foot peace, right foot peace. May we put on the full armor of God, not to fight, but to stand. May wisdom govern you. That's thinking through decisions. That's making sure that we have systems together, but also realizing that it should not take 6 months of meetings to do what can be done in 6 minutes. Lastly, the church models ordered life. If the church is chaotic, the lives of our people will be chaotic. So I want you to think about the rhythms of your church, the clarity of your church, the accountability of your church. Is your church modeling the community you want your church to be like? Or is your church just as chaotic as everybody else's life? Listen, we will see in this season bad leaders. I really believe it. The future to me is not anti-faith. The future to me is going to be based upon leadership. And if we have shallow leaders like we've seen in other areas, we're going to see shallow communities. So the church has to be preparing people to live faithfully in every disruptive moment. And I think right now, this is no different. This is our moment to make sure, as the church, we are the church. All right, that's my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts below. I would love to hear what you guys think about predictions for 2026. This is me just thinking and riffing and having some fun, engaging with some of this stuff. But I'd love to know what you think. What do you think about the future? What are your predictions for 2026? What are some things you're engaging in or curious about when it comes to artificial intelligence? Of course, if you want to learn more about this, I have a lot of data. I have a lot of master classes. I have worksheets on my website. You go to thattechpastor.com. You get access to all of that. I have free stuff and I have some paid stuff as well. I have books out on all of this as well. Be sure you like and follow on YouTube. Share this with someone. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you engage with our channel. And let's begin to think about the future faithfully. 10 predictions for the future, ways that God will use us and engage with us. And let's build something crazy. I'd love to hear what you guys think below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, engage. Let's have some fun. Go build the future. I am Justin Lester. I am that tech pastor. Ain't nobody like me because I love doing this. I am that tech pastor doing this stuff forever and I'm enjoying it. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Have a great, great, great end of the year and beginning of the new year. God bless you.